All right, y'all. This is another episode with the Plug Therapy Podcast with your host, Chris.
You're right.
And today we have with us vacation planner or travel agent, Keiwa Simpson with us. How you doing?
Hey, I am fine. I am doing awesome. As I told you, it's just a bit hot and humid in St Lucia, but I'm good otherwise.
Yeah. So as she said, she's from St Lucia. So what is it like out there in St Lucia these days?
Well, in terms of weather, the best weather ever, nice and sunny, clear, warm weather. The rain started coming back because we're entering into the rainy season. So we have a bit more rain now, but it never lasts like the entire day. It's usually, in the Caribbean, it's usually like 30 minutes of rain and then sun for a few hours, and maybe another 30 minutes of rain and sun. So unless we have like a hurricane or something.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
what it's been like, yeah.
Okay. But does it ever get cold there?
Cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Caribbean cold.
Okay. So what's it like 60 degrees?
No, like 72. 72 in December, like we get the east trade winds like from England and stuff like blowing down.
Okay.
And in the night, oh my God, like we need sweaters and stuff. I remember I asked my aunt from England to send me a sweater. She was like, what do you need a sweater for? I was like, hey, we get cold, you know.
Yeah.
It's like 72, 73.
So we're actually in England right now. No, that's where we live, and it's 72. That's hot for us.
Really?
Yeah, because we don't have air conditioning out here.
Yeah, because it's so cold, you don't need it.
Yeah, it's usually cold, but it's not necessarily cold, but
it doesn't get this hot on the regular here.
Yeah, it didn't get that hot on the regular.
Yeah.
So we like AC.
So what's like your summer temperature like?
In England, it probably floats around between 70 and 80 degrees.
Oh, okay, cool. That's not too bad.
If it gets any hotter than 80, then we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, but in terms of like tourists and stuff, because of the COVID situation, our island had to go on lockdown. They're just reopening the borders, but when you do come in July, you're just allowed to stay in the hotels. Like you cannot really leave and go and do all the amazing stuff there is to do here. So they're trying to open it little by little, but we'll see how it goes. I just want it to be done and over with.
Yeah, that's kind of strange that people would even, I guess if you had business or whatever that to do out there in St. Lucia, I guess that makes sense, but just go out there and stuck to that would suck because I've seen pictures of St. Lucia. I've never been before, but the island of St. Lucia is beautiful.
Yeah, and it has so much to do.
Yeah. So talk about some of those things that you can do in St. Lucia. Like, what is a typical touristy thing?
On a regular day without COVID, what would you like set up for people to do when they get there?
Right. So usually I work with like couples who are coming on honeymoons or like they're overworked and they just need a vacation, like to just get away. So a typical day the best day, the must-dos, I'll give you that. On a really good day in St. Lucia, you would go down to Soufrière. So it's on the southwest of the island. Just so that everybody know, we're talking about the Caribbean. So for those who might not know like where St. Lucia is, first of all, it's located in between North America and South America in the Caribbean. So you'd go down to Soufrière, and that's where we have our UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's called the Pitons. So you'd go down to see that. It's two like tall triangular shaped mountain peaks that are like very similar in size. They're over 2,000 feet tall and they are stunning. They're on the edge of the water, literally. So it's really amazing to go down and see them in real life. And then of course, around that are some really nice black sand beaches or silver sand beaches, because that's where the volcano is. So the sand down there is not yellow or white like in the north. It's more of a silver color. So we call it a black sand beach or a silver sand beach. So there are these awesome beaches there, and all around the beaches have great snorkeling sites.
Yes.
So you could see all the different colorful corals and the different colorful coral reef fish, octopuses, seahorses, jellyfishes. Not the really stinging ones, probably once in a while, but
No.
not usual. But you see squid, like all kind of different marine animals. So it's like going into like a real life aquarium.
Right.
It's really cool. You could dive as well. It's really pretty under there.
Okay.
And then there's a beach in between the pitot itself. So there's one pitot on one side and lower down the other pitot is there. So it's really like amazing to go on that beach because like you're in between the pitots.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a nice white sand beach with great snorkeling as well. And then Sufra has so much to do.
Yeah.
After a few hours of probably snorkeling and the beach, you could go to, like, I would recommend somebody go to the drive-in volcano. That's where I was 2 days ago. I took a video to put on my Facebook and stuff. So the drive-in volcano is a location with boiling vents of like hot sulfur water. That's where the last eruption for the volcano happened.
Mm-hmm.
So the rocks that are still cooling down under the surface, they're causing the water to boil and stuff still. And
so it's an active volcano?
It's not active.
Oh, no? Okay.
Yeah, it erupted like a few hundred years ago.
Oh, okay.
Last time. Yep.
Oh, okay.
But she seemed like relieved.
It's actually more dangerous.
I thought a couple years ago, somewhere in the world, people were like either at the top of the volcano or going around the volcano and it erupted.
In St. Lucia?
No, I'm just saying.
It used to happen all the time. So I used to live in Sicily, and the volcanoes are active, which is a good thing because the volcano is constantly breathing. But when volcanoes don't breathe for like a few hundred years, you never know when it's going to erupt again.
Oh no!
So that's why it's actually more safe to be around the breathing volcanoes versus
the active ones.
Yeah.
Even though you don't know when it's going to erupt.
Well, what do you mean? Like talking about like the one in St. Lucia?
The active ones.
No, well, you'll know. They'll know because they have like levels. It's like,
okay.
They'll let you know.
It's the same thing here. They measure like the activity and stuff, so they could see. Because we had a threat of eruption. I remember when I was a kid. That's probably like 20 years ago, and we were like praying, please, no Jesus, and it didn't erupt. So they usually have an idea, but if it erupted, that's where it would erupt because that's like the mouth, the caldera.
Okay, yeah, so we kind of cut you off. So yeah, so you go to the drive-in volcano. So what do you do there?
Mm-hmm. So you take a tour of the area, and if you're into geology and stuff and want to know about the history of the volcano, you could do that tour and see the boiling vents and stuff with all the sulfur water. And it was rumored that, well, I'm sure you guys know that in the Caribbean, the first people were the native Indians. So it was rumored that the native Indians used to throw like virgins in there for sacrifices, like if I know.
My goodness.
Never heard of that.
If like the weather was bad, like there was a drought or lots of hurricanes and stuff, so to appease the gods, they used to like throw them in there. So I remember I did a post and I was like, virgins beware, then go to the surface. Like, thank God I'm not a virgin, but anyway, so it was just funny. So you could do that, and then the best part is that the water from the vents gets streamed into 4 pools. So you could bathe in the black warm water. By the time it reaches in the pool, it's just like 100 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
So it's tolerable. Like when you just go, it's like, oh my God, I'm boiling. But then when you like go little by little, you take your time and you wait, your body gets accustomed to it, and then you start bathing and enjoying yourself like a pool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then when you're there, after you tasted the pool, you could go to get the mud. So there's white mud and black mud from the volcano area. And you could like rub all over you. So when you like look at pictures of St. Lucia, you'll see tourists doing that all the time. Like, see these pictures if people have like gray mud all over them doing faces and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they say it's really good for the skin and stuff. It's rumored that, you know, you come out there looking 10 years younger. The Fountain of Youth is in St Lucia. Don't mind the liars who told you it was someplace else. That's where it is. So
I was gonna say I would do it.
yeah. So it's really cool there.
Okay.
And then there are so many other things to do. You could climb the pitons if you want to see like almost the entire island from right on top. You can do warm waterfalls but these are not, the water is not black like what comes from the volcano.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear, but it has lots of minerals in it. So the walls that the water falls on is like multicolored because of all the minerals, and it's surrounded by all the mango trees and the tropical flowers and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the water is warm, so there's these things to do as well. There are tours of cocoa plantations, and then at the end you can make your own chocolate with your spouse using the cocoa from the plantation. So there is so much to do in Soufrière alone. So I would usually put together a day like that. Make sure you go to Soufrière, do some snorkeling, the driving volcano, or warm waterfall, local lunch, and probably something else that I mentioned. Yep. There's so much to do.
So
that's just one place.
That's just one day?
That's just one place on one day.
Oh, one place.
Okay, one place, not one day.
So you do all that. So you pretty much plan all that person. So if me and Raven want to go to St. Lucia, you can just say, y'all need to be here at this time, go do this and do this and this and this and this.
Yeah, well, I usually don't give like generic vacations. It's usually you're very involved in the process. So I meet with people online. I show them videos of different things to do, the pros and the cons of doing it, what's possible to do for the day without getting overwhelmed. Because, you know, sometimes like people can pack in so many things for the day and they don't get to do it, or they leave feeling super exhausted.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought I came here to rest. Why am I so tired? You
need a vacation from your vacation.
Yeah. So they're usually really involved. I help them figure out where to stay as well, because I mean, it's someplace new and it's so different than where our usual target market is from, like England and the US. So people usually like want help figuring out which part of the island do I stay at? What's it like to get around here? Should I rent? Where could I go if I rented vehicle? Should I get my own guide and go with a tour guide? Should I take a water taxi and go by land instead? So all of these little things, what currency to use, help them pick out a really nice guest house or hotel and all of that. Yeah, I help them like figure out the whole vacation and plan the whole vacation. Okay. But they're very involved in the process. So it will be perfect for the couple because, you know, everybody's different. And even within the couple, some people might want to do different things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what I like about you, because a lot of people, like even like me and Raven, we're both from Dallas, Texas, right? Mm-hmm. And we don't necessarily, I couldn't be a tourist in my own city because I don't, because we don't deep dive into our own culture like that. Mm-hmm. Like we don't say, like we have our go-to spots, but it's not necessarily a best place to go for tourists or whatever. Right. But you actually get out and get involved and learn more. Like you probably know way more about your country than you need to just based off of your job alone. So you actually go out and do those, like you actually go out and, so you've done the snorkeling and all the other stuff that's out there. You've done all the adventurous stuff.
Yep. Okay. Climbed the pitons, done the snorkeling. As I said, we just came from the driving volcano and the mud baths. They just opened it after the lockdown for COVID. So at least the locals are able to go. Yeah, all of it. Different waterfalls around the island. There, rivers, beaches.
That's awesome.
By land, by water, different places to eat. I have to, because I cannot take your money and promise you that I'll help you figure out what's best to do, and I don't have a wide like understanding and experience of what's there to do. So I can help you pick the right one. Because let's say, even if you want to go to a beach, you might want a secluded beach, You might want a secluded beach close to things for you to eat on the beach. You might want a secluded beach that's someplace that will not feel very dangerous. So me having like been to probably almost all of the beaches here, not all, but a good amount, I would be able to pinpoint exactly which one would be good for you based on what you want, right? Because when you're online and you see a beach, you really don't know the particulars about it because you just saw the picture. It can be someplace that's really, really far and hard to get to because sometimes the roads are really like windy and rocky and stuff.
Yeah.
It can be far from things to eat, so you'd have to go with things. You might go there if you're card and your money thinking that, oh, I'll just get something over there, and they might not have nothing like available because of where it is. Or the water might look calmer than it really is because it's on the Atlantic side, which means the water is a little bit more rough than those on the West Coast, on the Caribbean side. So there are all of these particulars, you know, that a local person would know, especially someone who's a vacation planner and literally has to drown themselves in the island to make sure they understand it properly to help somebody else. There's so much that we know that we'd be able to help you out and make the best choice for you so that you have a really good stay. Yep.
Awesome. So me, I'm a big foodie, so I don't care where we go as long as there's like great food. So what is the food in St. Lucia?
Right. So our food in St. Lucia, we have various influences because of the history of our island. You know, the same thing with y'all in the States. So we have like Native Indian influences in our food, African, of course, a little bit of British, French, and some East Indian influences because the Indians from India came in after slavery was abolished, right, to replace our ancestors basically for work. So they were able to come with their spices and like a curry and cumin and turmeric and all of these extra stuff to add flavor to our food, which makes it what it is today. So in St. Lucia, lots of fresh vegetables. Our soil is volcanic, so many people, there are many farms, get fresh food all the time. So, and lots of starchy root vegetables, like things that grow underground, like potatoes, yams, something called a dashin as well. Green bananas. Our national dish is green bananas with salted cod. We call it saltfish. So green bananas, that's boiled with salted cod, and the salted cod is stir-fried with like Caribbean seasonings. So onions, garlic, Caribbean seasoning peppers, thyme, chives, celery, and all that good stuff. And they like stir fry the salted cod in it, and they add it to the green fig. And that's our national dish. But we call it fig, but it's banana. It's the Creole word for banana.
And that's a
French
green
Creole too.
And it's a green banana.
Yes.
So what is a green banana? It's not sweet, is it?
Not at all.
Or is this like more of a savory taste?
Yes, a savory taste. What can I compare?
Is it like a plantain almost?
Yeah, well, a green banana, the plantain is the cousin of the banana, right? So, yeah, so basically almost the same thing. But it's more of a bland taste. The last people I gave it to said it kind of tasted like potatoes. But I never felt that way, but they did. The last Americans that I helped plan their vacation. Well, one said that I helped. Yeah, so there's that. There's rotis. So it's curry chicken and potatoes boiled together and wrapped in a flour shell. So that's from the Indian influence in the Caribbean. So that's super nice as well. We have black pudding as well, like I know in England does, where they use like the pig's blood and they mix it with all the seasonings and the intestines.
I will not be trying that.
That's okay. That's okay.
Out here, we don't do a lot of English food out here. We do more of like Indian food,
Mhm.
like curries and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, we
But
have some of that here, and we have like a few Indian restaurants that are really good. There's some of the top ones on the island, and people love them. So you would like that. I would like that.
yeah,
And then for food again, a really nice, delicious meal is the pigtail bouillon. It's more of like an African influence because of slavery. They used to give like the our enslaved ancestors like the scraps of the animal, like the
hmm
tail, the mouth, the nose, the hooves and stuff, and
hmm
they would take it, add flour dumplings. Well, now they still use the pigtail. They add flour dumplings. It's salted. They add lentils or red beans, seasonings, of course, seasoning galore. In the Caribbean, it's
yeah,
seasonings, especially fresh seasonings like
hmm
onions, garlic, chive, and all the stuff. Rain down Jesus.
yeah.
So yeah, so everything and put it together is like a really nice soup, but we call it a bouillon, and it's really delicious. But there's
Okay,
so many other things in St. Lucia.
yeah.
Lots to
Yeah,
eat.
that sounds like a dope place to go.
Mhm.
We gotta go there.
Yeah.
We wanted to go to Africa this year, but
Okay.
obviously that's not going to happen with the whole
Yeah.
COVID situation and stuff. But we may be moving back to the States next year, so obviously we'll be a lot closer if we move to the States and
Yeah.
travel to St. Lucia from there.
Yeah.
So, how
Totally.
do you have more American tourists that come out there, or is it just literally people from all over the world that come there?
We have usually American and English tourists,
Okay.
but of course we get like people from Europe, probably a little bit of South America. We even get like people from Asia too, but it's usually people that live in America that come. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, so there's other things to that. Oh, the street party. You'd love the street party because are you into seafood by any
Yes.
Yes.
chance? Okay, so then you get all the fresh lobster with the Creole sauce, the conch. You know what's the conch shell? Like the big pink shell that they
Mhm.
blow on
Oh,
the sea.
Lord of the Flies, the little conch that they talk about. No, okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay, okay. Well, it has an animal that lives in it, like a giant sea snail. So they cut that up and cook it up and stuff, and it's delicious. Stewed octopus. You get chicken as well if you're not into seafood. And then, so all of this is on one road.
Uh-huh.
And then there's like a big sound system, blasting Caribbean music, American music, and stuff. And of course, all the local rums ever that you could find, because we have a rum distillery that creates around 20 different types of rums and liquors. So you get all of that on a road, and you eat and you dance your heart out until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
You guys would like
Yeah.
that if you especially into food and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't hear too many people talk about St. Lucia like that. Like you will hear it. I
Really?
was like, we heard of St. Lucia, but like in our immediate circle, we don't know anyone that just has gone.
No.
I can't think of no one. But it seems like it seems like an untapped jewel. You know?
Yeah, and I find that sometimes I mention it and some people know about it that I never thought, but it's usually like older folks that came on like honeymoon or something.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
but the younger couples too can come, especially those that are open to Caribbean culture and stuff, especially during carnival season, like if you want to party and stuff too. Like
Yeah.
our carnival is getting really big, and because of the internet, like Caribbean culture is merging with African American culture and African culture and stuff. So it's like one big thing happening, and everybody's going to everybody's events. So our carnival has lots of like Americans, especially African Americans these
Yeah.
days.
I bet.
Yeah.
So what's the national language out there? Is it English?
Right. So our national, I would say our main official language is English, but before English, we used to speak and still do speak French Creole.
Okay.
So yeah, during colonial times, during slavery, like our island would go back and forth between being owned by England and being owned by France.
Mm.
So because of that, like one time it's English, one time it's French, one time it's English, one time it's French.
That's wild.
So we still, and even 200 years later, after all of the fighting and stuff was done, we still speak French Creole.
Yeah.
And there's a time it was considered like a bastard language, like if you're educated, you speak English. But then now they're starting to like have more respect for the language. They turned it to an official language like a few years ago, and we have songs in it. We speak it a lot and stuff. And we even have a day where we celebrate our Creole heritage, and we speak lots of French Creole. Everything is in French Creole on that day. And lots of food too. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Crabs.
I was just about to say, I would love to visit on that day, but then I was like, oh, okay, there'll be a lot of French speaking and we would be lost.
No, you would go with a local, and then the thing, just bring you around and stuff to all of the best places to eat, encourage you to try things that they know like are really good. And then you'd be able to get it, I think. You should.
Yeah.
So at least enjoy
French.
Now we got to find a local.
I speak French. Oui, oui.
Yeah, but it's not pure French. Yeah? It's like the other language that the Haitians speak as well. It's French Creole.
Oh yeah.
So so it's like I don't want to say a broken French because it's an official language, but that's kind of what it is.
Okay. So when's the best time to go to St. Lucia or visit St. Lucia?
Right. So that really depends on the type of experience you want. If you want really good weather, then from January to June, July is best.
Okay.
Nice and sunny, just passing showers. Hurricane season is gone and done. If you want cultural activities, then July, mid-June to mid-July for the carnival season and all the soca shows, all the soca music festivals, the jour ouverts, meaning dancing in the street from the night to 6 o'clock in the morning, rum drinking, happiness time, and the costume festivals and stuff. Then that's from mid-June to July. And then if you want the Creole experience, then that's October. The Creole Day actually takes place on the last Sunday in October. So then you just have to like plan your travel around that time, probably like 4 days before. So you can like be in the height of the celebration. So you'd see all the drums, the traditional dances, the costume that we wear on that day, and sample all the traditional food, which is totally different to what you'd get during other times on the island. Like all the traditional, really St. Lucian food comes out at that time.
Okay.
So there's that. And if you want cheap, if you want like just really reduced prices on accommodations and tours, you could come when the season is closed, and that's from like from August to end of September. But the thing about that time, that's also the hurricane season, which is why the season is closed and everything is cheaper. So it's a risk.
Okay.
We haven't really gotten a bad hit recently, but like the other islands, but I don't want anybody to come and then that's when something bad happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's
the better.
I was gonna say we'll come out there when our weather in Texas is, or our weather in the States is shitty.
It's just
not
unbearable.
Good. Like, okay, cool.
All
Let's
right.
go out to St. Lucia real quick.
So that's January, February, or maybe even December.
Yeah.
For you guys.
That'd be a cool Christmas travel.
Yeah.
Go out there for a week or two. Maybe just a week. 2 weeks, a long time.
February. Anniversary.
Oh yeah, anniversary's in February, so that's perfect.
Oh yeah, well then here you go.
Yeah. So what's the cost of living out there?
The cost of living for a local?
Well, I guess for people that travel out there, like let's say who's going out there, is St. Lucia an expensive place to travel?
I would say yes. I don't want to fool anybody. It's expensive for us too as a local, because we import everything well, almost everything. We really don't have that much natural resources and stuff for us to have big factories and big economies and stuff. Our main economy is tourism, and we bring in almost everything. So things are more expensive than the price you would get them at in the States and places like that. But it's okay, it's doable. You know, you don't have to stay at a hotel for $1,000 a night. If you don't want to, you could do 2 days if you want to, like, to really have the luxury experience. But you could get really good places in that same area with pools and stuff for like $250 a night, you know, which is much better. You could get places for $50 a night too on Airbnb in the same area, but you will not get all the luxury, you know?
Right.
So it's what you want, what you can afford. Of course, the biggest key to saving money is staying close to the things you want to do, because travel gets expensive as well, unless you want to drive your own vehicle. Hiring a taxi can cost a bit. So the closer you are to what you do, the less money you have to pay for transportation. And you can even walk to some of the stuff.
Okay.
So, which is why it's good to get the help of a vacation planner to help you, so you can like cut costs on all of these things, save yourself travel time.
Yeah.
Spending an hour and a half to get to something, you could just spend 5 minutes to stay the right place.
Right.
All of these things help. And plus, you get to know like all the local places to eat and stuff, which is much cheaper than the hotel, restaurants, and bars.
That's what I like. So I'm not a big fan of doing like the big touristy things. I want to do the same things that the locals do. So that's dope. I like that.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally.
What's the you right over there?
Yeah.
So what's so your economy kind of makes a lot of the money off the tourist, right? So I'm assuming that you all are very welcome to tourists that come into your country or come into your island, because you go to some places where they're not too friendly to the touristy people. So I'm assuming St. Lucia is very friendly when it comes to tourists coming to visit.
We're known as one of the friendliest people in the Caribbean. It's a cultural thing, and we also know, since our main industry is tourism, we have to be nice. But we just like you don't know how much pride I felt seeing all these foreign people in our carnival. Like it's a source of validation, to be honest. And we just like the pride of, people want to come here, people want to experience our stuff. So we never been, you hardly get people who are like, go back to where you come from. Don't ask me no questions. I don't know, get lost. I hope you do.
Okay.
So you don't get that. You'd be lost and you'd get like 10 people come in and help you, give you directions, give you food. Like things like that. It's a very, very friendly place. Like you'd ask, most tourists would tell you one of the reasons why they keep coming back is because the people are really friendly.
Okay. That's awesome. Anything else you want to talk about?
Favorite dish?
For me?
Yes.
I was not expecting that. You put me on that spot. My favorite dish.
Do you cook a lot?
Great. Yes, I do. Okay. We cook every day. We don't really eat out. Yeah, people that eat out are usually people who are at work. Okay. Like work in the city and stuff, and they have to like go get their lunch and stuff. But most people at home and stuff, we cook. My favorite food, I will say, is on my island, something that I'd want all the time is, I would say the conch, the grilled labi, the grilled conch with the Creole sauce.
Okay.
And something like a fried dough. It's called a bake. Well, it's called a bake when it's grilled, and when the dough is fried, it's called a float because it floats on the oil. So one with that would do. And a strong bowl or a glass of like a semi-sweet white wine.
Okay. Like a Moscato almost.
Yes, I love Moscato.
Yeah. So you told us some of the things that you would set up for like a couple if we wanted to do like a romantic thing. Outside of that, the one best like activity that you've done that you constantly do, what would you choose?
The warm waterfalls, like the mineral baths or the warm waterfalls in Soufrière that have the pools.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do. Not the necessarily the driving volcano, not the one with the mud and stuff. Just the clear water, but it's warm and it has the pools surrounded by all the nice trees and birds and stuff. I would do that over and over again. That and snorkeling. I love snorkeling. I love the sea so much. I named my daughter Ocean. So the snorkeling is a big one for me. These two.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yep.
So anything else you'd like to add about St. Lucia?
I would just say, like, don't be scared to travel here. You don't have to figure it out on your own. There are people like us that are local vacation planners or travel agents. There are foreign travel agents, like in England and Canada and stuff. What I do is probably kind of like more the not norm, like the
Like more than the mainstream type of travel agents?
Right. I'm more of the exception than the norm, because most people who help people put vacations together to St. Lucia are foreigners, foreign travel agents.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are people like me who actually live here and know what's going on, what's open, what works. So what's good. So don't be scared like to take a trip at all. And plus, there are so many free places to get resources as well. YouTube is a big one. Go watch the videos of other couples, where they've stayed, what they did. Yeah. Travel forums on Facebook about St. Lucia. Ask all the questions. It's very possible to have the time of your life here, if the island is someplace that's interesting to you, of course. And St. Lucia is always open and ready to help you have a good time. And I say so literally speaking on behalf of the island, like the physical island itself. Yeah. Like, I literally feel like that's what the island was meant. One of the biggest things was for other people in the world and for us to experience, because it has so many amazing things. Yeah. Like Jamaica's little sister.
See, me and Raven, we love to travel. So you just put another country or another place to travel to on our map. So you'll be the first person that we contact when we book those tickets.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That'd be awesome. You'd have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll definitely meet in person one of these days. So how can people get in contact with you?
Okay, so my website is www.discoverstluciatours.com.
Okay.
So that's Discover, STLUCIA, tours.com. I used to do tours before, and then I felt so limited going the same place over and over again and not really like knowing the people that I was working with. So I decided to help them just plan the vacation, going to the vacation planning instead. Yeah. And it's much better for me. So, but it's still Discover St. Lucia Tours. Okay. And on Facebook, it's Discover St. Lucia Tours and Vacation Planning Services. And on Instagram, it's Your Dream Vacation St. Lucia. Okay. You see all the awesome pictures of St. Lucia, some things that I do as well, all the advice you need on what to do, where to stay, what currency to use, where to eat. I give lots of free advice on my website, on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. And I also have a couple of free resources on my website, 6 things you need to know to create your dream St. Lucian vacation. So it really helps you put together your vacation to St. Lucia faster and easier, especially for those who want to do it on their own, and resources to help you figure out what to do and all of that good stuff on the website as well.
Okay.
So that's how you find me.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, Raven, anything else you want to add?
Nope, that's it.
Well, I appreciate you, Keiwa. Hopefully a lot of our listeners actually come out and look through you, because it sounds like you have a great personality, and I think that you have a great to offer out there. So that'd be great.
Thank you. That'd be awesome. I just want people to have a good time. So if you know St. Lucia looks like something you'd love, like you'd enjoy, come. Please come.
That's easy. All you gotta do is Google St. Lucia, and it's already sold me.
Pictures of sell themselves. Yeah.
And YouTube too. It's amazing.
All right, Keiwa. Well, I appreciate you. We'll put all your information in our description so that people can go visit. They can go straight to the link and visit you on that page. All right.
Yes, that'll be awesome.
Thank
you so much for having me. It's such an honor. Thank you. Really. Thank you.
That was amazing. I appreciate you for coming on.
Okay.
All right. Well, you have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your hot, humid day.
Yes.
Thanks for being flexible with
us.
the beach. Thanks for being flexible with us too, by the way, because we were supposed to do this 2 hours earlier, but I had prior engagements, so I had to push it back.
No, don't worry. It would have been 9 o'clock my time, so I'm actually like more energized now.
Okay.
It's like later during the day. It's 11:45 now in the morning.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, you have a good one. I appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. It's been another episode of the Public Therapy Podcast with your host, Chris.
All right.
All right, y'all. Peace.